on a rational root theorem just to get some more practice, you guys, so that you get more comfortable at it and you just keep on working on the skill. All right. So for number one, you guys recall p, and this is your guys' q, right? That's a coefficient of 1. Now, you guys gotta find your different factors of p. So 1 and 6, right? 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 3 is also 6. And your guys' factors of q, which is just 1 on 1. Now, when you guys make your list, right? P over q, we're going to get plus or minus 1, 2, 3, and 6, right? Those are the factors of p that we found, and plus or minus 1. Then, to make our list, right, you guys do plus or minus 1 over 1 is 1. We're going to get plus or minus 2 divided by 1 is 2. 3 divided by 1, 3, and 6 divided by 1 is 6. So here is our possible roots list, which means we need to go and find out which one of these possible numbers in this list will give us zeros, right? So we gotta set up our synthetic division, and we got 1, we got -2, we got -5, and we got 6. You write down the coefficients of each term of the polynomial. 1, -2, -5, and 6. So here's where you guys test out things, right? You guys test out numbers from this list to see which ones will give us a 0. So you guys try it out for yourselves. But I'm just gonna try 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. Add those together. -1. -1 times 1, you guys, is -1. Add those together. -5 plus -1 is -6. And add those together, -6. So there is one of my zeros. So I know definitely this is going to be one of our answers, right? It's definitely going to be 1. Now you guys take a look. This is a degree of 3, right? So you guys know that for this coefficient, it's going to be a degree of 1 less than that. So x to the second, and then you guys just go 1 degree lower each time. X to the first, and this is x to the 0. But x to the 0 is just 1, so it's just left as a -6. Now, since you guys have a degree of 2, right? You guys can certainly factor this to find the zeros of this one. So, -6 and -1, two things that multiply to -6 but gives you -1. That is -6 and 1. So what you guys should do is you should be able to get x minus 6 times x plus 1 as your guys' factors. And for this one, x is going to be 6 and x is going to equal to -1. So our zeros are 1, 6, and -1. And that's what you guys should have gotten for your answer for number 1. So it just so happens that 1 worked for that one, but again, you guys constantly have to practicing, seeing which ones will give you your zeros, and then once you guys get it down to the quadratic, then you guys could factor. All right, let's do number 2. So number 2, here's your q, right? Here's your p. Find your guys' factors of p and q. So for q, we're going to get 1 and 5, and for p, factors of 30, right? 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. So when you guys make your p over q list, right? All the factors of p, so plus and minus 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. And for the bottom, plus or minus 1 and 5. So when we make our list, right, I'm probably going to have to write another put it in another column. So we're going to get plus or minus 1 divided by each one of these factors, you guys, you're going to divide it by 1, right? So plus or minus 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30 again, right? But now you guys, you gotta do all of these numbers and divide it by that one now. So 1 over 5 is 1/5, 2 over 5 is 2/5, 3 over 5 is 3/5. Now, I'm not going to do 5/5 because 5/5, you guys, right? 5 divided by 5 is 1. We already have that in our list. So, not going to include that 5 over 5. But what I am going to do is I'm going to include the 6 over 5, right? Not going to do 10 over 5 because 10 over 5 is 2. Nor 15 over 5, you guys, that's 3. And 30 divided by 5 is 6. So, that's actually where we're going to stop. Now again, we set up our synthetic division to see which of these possible answers are going to give us zeros. So again, this is where you guys just gotta guess and check and see what works, right? And you gotta see what works. If I do 1, oh again, sorry. These numbers, you guys, if you did not know, they are coming from the coefficients of each term of the polynomial, right? So drop down the 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 1 is that. And I'm pretty much going to stop there because once you guys add those together, I see it gives you guys that. There's no way negative 66 times 1 is going to give us negative 30. So can't do 1. So it kind of makes me think we should do a bigger number. Let's go ahead and try 2. Drop down the 5. Again, you are picking numbers out from this list, right? You're just picking up random numbers from this list and seeing what will give you a 0. 2 times 5, you guys, is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 times 2 is 36. 36 plus negative 79 is negative 43, and unfortunately that is not going to work either because it's not going to give you guys negative 30. Let's try 3 and see how this works. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 8, 23. 23 times 3 is 69. 69 plus negative 79 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 3 is negative 30. Great. We found one, right? So it's 3. So, after you find a 0, you guys, right? The degree of this polynomial in the front is 1 less than the original. And the original was 3, right? So, we are going to do 1 less than that, x to the second. Then this is going to be x to the first, and then x to the 0. So our polynomial we are dealing with, you guys, is 5x to the second plus 23x minus 10. And that is equal to 0. Now, since we do have a quadratic, meaning a degree of 2, we can factor and see how this goes. So I'm going to drop this down so that we got a little bit more space. So 5 times negative 10 is negative 50. 23 is on the bottom. Two things that multiply to negative 50, but when added together gives you guys 23. I'm currently thinking at the moment, and I got 25 and negative 2. Now, since a is greater than 1, right? This is where you guys got to factor by grouping. So 5x to the second plus 25x coming from here, right? Minus 2x coming from here. Minus 10 is equal to 0. The minus 10 is coming from there, right? Factor this, you guys, by grouping. So we could factor out a 5x from there to get x plus 5. And we can factor out a negative 2 there to get x plus 5. So 5x minus 2 times x plus 5. And once you guys set both of those equal to 0, you're going to get 2 fifths, and x is equal to -5. So those are our zeros. 3 from the beginning, right? I'll write this in red. 2 fifths and -5. So again, it does require you guys to practice this so that you guys get more comfortable with it, where you get to a point where you guys can practice this and achieve those. So I think you guys could do a couple more of these. Now, I'm not going to do all of these for you guys. I want you guys to truly try to figure out if you guys could do some of these. So I'm just going to do number 6 for you guys, and you guys try to do the rest on your own. So here's number 6. P. Ooh. We got P. We got Q. Okay, so factors of 2, right? Just 1 and 2. Factors of 6, 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. So, P over Q lists you guys plus or minus 1 and 2. That's the factors of 2, right? Now for factors of Q, we got 1, 2, 3, and 6. So, 1 divided by 1 is plus or minus 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Now you gotta do it for each one, right? 1 divided by 2, you guys, is 1/2. 2 divided by 2, not gonna write that one, you guys, because 2 over 2 is 1. That's already in the list. 1 over 3, 2 over 3, 1 over 6, and 2 over 6. Now, 2 over 6, you guys, right? That's 1/3. That's already in the list, so you don't need to include 2 over 6. So there's our list, and now we are going to use that list to try to find our zeros of our polynomial. Setting it up. 6, -5, -14, -1, and 2. 6, -5, -14, -1, and 2. So let's try out some numbers, right? I'm just going to try 1. That's always a good one to start with. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus -5 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. -14 plus 1 is -13. I'm going to stop there because I don't think that this is going to reach -2 because you want a 0 there, right? So 1 was certainly not an option. I'm just going to go ahead and try 2. Drop the 6 down. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus -5 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 14. 14 plus -14 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. -1 plus 0 is -1. -1 times 2 is -2. Alright. 2 was certainly one of our zeros, right? So, recall, that is a degree of 4, right? So when we start this polynomial, it's 1 degree less, right? X to the third, and then 1 degree less. X to the second, and then keep on going, right? X to the first, and then 0. Now, is that to the power of 2? It is not yet. So that means we can do and guess another 0 so that we can reduce it to be a degree of 2. Okay, so we already tried 1, didn't work. We tried 2, that worked, so we can still try 2 again, or we can go for the other numbers. I'm gonna try -1 out now, right? Just to try it out. -1 times 6, -6, -6 plus 7 is 1. 1 times -1 is -1, -1 plus 0 is -1, -1 times -1 is 1. Ooh, lucky. I got the 0. Now, this was x to the third, right? So for this one, it's 1 degree less, and then you keep on going, right? X, and then there you go. So we have our quadratic. Now we got a factor to see if we could find our remaining zeros. So 6 times -1 is -6, and that's a coefficient of 1, so that's on the bottom. Two things that multiply to -6, but when added together gives you guys 1. That is -2 and 3. Now, since a is greater than 1, right, that number is greater than 1, we gotta do it by grouping. 6x to the second minus 2x plus 3x coming from these two minus 1 is equal to 0. Group. I can pull out a 2x from there to get 3x minus 1. And from here, you guys can't factor out anything, so the only thing we factor out is a 1. So we get 2x plus 1 and 3x minus 1. Set both of those equal to 0, and you guys should get -1/2 and 1/3. So our answers for that one, you guys, was 2, -1, -1/3, or -1/2, and 1/3. And I saw that pretty much settles it, and I know that it went dissipated from the screen, so let me pop that up back to you guys. Oh, it's asking me for a number. Here we go. But there you guys have it. So I demoed 3 of them for you guys. And you guys should try the other 3 on your own. Try the other 3 on your own and see if you guys can find those solutions. Use my examples to help you guys out. And, really practice the skill, you guys, because again, you are going to have to show me this when you guys do take your quiz or test pretty soon. Alright, so hopefully those 3 helped you guys to try to get in the groove of it. Try the other 3 on your own and see how you guys do. Okay? Good luck, you guys, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.